It's a van race breakdown. Alright, get a little more air in here. Alright, so then what we do, all you do is we just talk into this bad boy. And I think this is Ault Park 3. We've started off. There's you on the right, Mark.
Hey, all right. Red shoes. Red shoes jersey.
Red shoes, red jersey. We are with Bike Blast. We're gonna. The content's only 22 minutes. We've got some fast forward for the parts that are kind of, I wouldn't say boring, because this whole thing hurts. You do see a couple guys going off the front, but let's kick off this race. In case you haven't heard, Ault Park is this year it's a 3-race series, and it's a points race, right, Mark?
Right. Yeah, every 5 laps they'll ring a bell, and that obviously indicates that the next lap guys are racing for points.
Yeah, they go
3, 2, 1.
5, 3, 2, 1, and then at the halfway mark, the 20th lap, you get double points, and then the final lap. Going into this race, our guy from Brilliant Advice, Richie, our featured sprinter, was in second place. He had 32 points collected over actually he missed week 1.
Yeah.
So he got 32 points all in week 2. Go see that video.
Yeah, he missed week 1, and we worked really hard for him on week 2, and he racked up, I think, the most points any Brilliant Advice riders have gotten in an A race at Ault Park.
Yeah, and Jake was at 42, so that was first place, and then 1111's Garcia was 27 points. So here we go, fast forward. There is a break off the front. We're rolling it back in, and everyone kind of gets collected. You can see this. The shape of this race is kind of an oval with an uphill, which we're going up now, and a downhill. So I slowed it down for every points lap, so you can see we're now going, the bell just rang, and we're on our 5th lap, so this is a points lap. You can see, I mean, Bear's doing his thing where he starts leading it out up front there.
The 2 largest team in the race, our team, Brilliant Advice, and then the purple kit, 1111. So those are the 2 colored kits that you'll see animating the majority of the race.
Look at Justin taking a move there. I mean, so 1111's on the inside. This is a points lap. Richie got on his wheel, our sprinter. I should have closed that gap at the top of the hill.
Is this the first points lap?
This is the first points
lap. I may have been up there as well.
But
I him out.
Yeah, I messed up because now Richie's on.
He's on my wheel.
He's on your wheel up there.
And we talked before the race because last week I was dropping him off a little too early, and so he showed me. He goes, "I want you to take me to this cone." And so, all right. So I went to the cone,
right
but
there.
before we even got to the cone, guys were already starting to ramp stuff up, and so kind of mid-race we were talking about how we may need to let you go sooner than that cone.
You're right.
Because
we're out of energy.
Well, that, and because, like I said, Daniel Tokarczyk was really getting after it, and the 1111 guys were coming around us before I even had a time to pull, and so it was kind of a mid-race adjustment we had to make.
Yeah. So Richie got second. Garcia got first with 5 points. Bo Sherman got 2 on that one, and Jake got 1. So unfortunately, Garcia's starting to close the gap now. And we kind of don't know exactly. It's hard to know.
Keep track during the race. I mean, there's so many things to think about. But
this is an interesting one. So that's okay. We're got 2 laps to go. You do a good job of calling out. Okay, 2 to go. 1111 was on the front, and now Justin says, "All right, let's line this up." And Justin starts to take his pole. You start feathering in behind me, and this is the one where we weren't sure whether Richie was on, whether we had the
Is this the one?
This is the one where we weren't sure were we all together, but Justin's doing a great job taking the lead. He's probably putting down 300 watts. I'm in his draft. We're 26 miles an hour, and now we're on the downhill again with 2 to go. if the skies look a little ominous, it's because we had the Canadian wildfires. So it was like we were smoking a pack of cigarettes during the race. So Justin's taking a nice pull.
Pretty long pull. This is not the bell lap though.
No, this is with this is with 2 to go. So now they're ringing the bell as we come through
Gotcha.
this.
Yeah. Okay.
And there goes a rider, but he's going for the popcorn because there was a popcorn preem, and I was yelling, "Popcorn! He's going for the popcorn!" Justin waves me through, and this is where you've said, "Richie's on.
Richie's on.
Richie's on your wheel. You're behind me."
Because earlier I wasn't sure if he was, but he's really good at navigating through the pack, and he was able to find my wheel. So now Rob's leading us out. I'm on Rob's wheel, and Richie's behind me.
Now this was an interesting
we were in a
one.
pretty good position.
Yeah, because I knew I was hurting here doing 500 watts.
Yeah.
And you came around me. I think you were starting to sense, should I take a pull? I think even Richie said go, and there you go. But what's nice is we actually had a decent gap, and Pip's sweeping, so Pip's job was to sweep that wheel. But look at that gap to 11. But watch that. This is where, though, Eric Bear comes around like a maniac.
He is such a strong rider, man.
And then Garcia's on his wheel. I mean, that's...
The two of them that's a tough combo to beat.
Yeah. And it's tough with only 4 points. It's tough to know whether, or 4 places.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just sprinting here to catch the pack.
Yes, to make sure you don't get too gapped.
And so on this one, Bo Sherman took first place with 5 points. Richie gets second with 3 points. Garcia 2. So actually Richie padded his lead, and then actually Jason Carew got 4th.
Oh, all right.
So, and what I'll do here is speed it up after every points lap so that you guys don't have to watch all of the fodder that goes on.
Yeah. The lap after the sprint lap obviously is a lot of recovery is happening, especially for the sprinters, the guys who are leading out the sprinters. Sometimes guys like to try to attack at that moment because guys are trying to get some recovery, but not too many attacks in week 3. I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, the one guy who was the first place Cat 3 guy that ended up being first, he attacked on that one, and we had to pull him back. And you kind of see, well, why is 11-11 and Brilliant Advice working together? Well, that's why, right? Because we're pulling back anything that we both want to get points for our guy to outpace Jake, who's still in first at this point. And here comes their lead out.
Jake, who doesn't have any teammates. So
right.
He does a great job, being all by himself. He still manages to, score lots of points. So it's pretty impressive to do all that without any teammates.
Yeah. So here we go. We're getting close to the bell lap, and this is the 11-11 train. I'm trying to, stay on Bear's wheel to make it a little difficult, and then I think, oh my gosh, we can go. So on this bell lap, I take off to see if we can really get some separation on our team. And then I hear Justin coming behind me, and he takes off. I went wide, and that forced Bear and Garcia to go wide. But at that point, I'm in the back.
Pretty cooked.
I'm pretty cooked.
Yeah. I think this is a lap where I was trying to get some recovery sitting in. So hopefully I'm still there somewhere.
Yeah, you were there the whole race, brother.
Yeah.
So those trains go down the road. There's you on the right. There's Matt on our team. So on that one, even though we had taken an early pull, Garcia got big points. He got 5. Ben Page got second. Jake got third, so he's now trying to pad his lead. And Richie got 1, so he still got 4th, but making it tight. So that was a tough one. You know, I feel like I should have pulled longer at the top and held that inside. But I think Justin may have called me off because he saw that 11-11 was coming around my outside. So now this next one's tricky. So the next one coming up is the double points lap. And what ends up happening, as you'll see when everyone slows up here, is an attack is off the front. And it starts right here. And I'm thinking, okay, we got to follow this.
Somebody
right?
hollered.
You do too. So
Well, somebody hollered. I thought maybe it was Richie that said you got to go after that. So those two went, and I jumped across.
That
to
was
get on
great.
The wheel. And yeah, and I was a little surprised that we were able to open up a pretty good gap. And I knew 11-11 was going to try and pull it back in because they weren't represented in that break. And obviously we're going for the 20 lap, which is double points.
Well, here's where we had some confusion. So that was awesome that you got up there because we absolutely needed to pad points. I'm thinking, though, for Richie to catch Jake and hold off Garcia, he needs as many sprints as possible. So I start going, you know what, let's bring this thing back. Let's team time trial and bring it back. And I get told, no, let's not. And I think this is one of those in-race moments that are tough.
All right, that's interesting. Because I was curious. Again, initially, I'm like, I'm burning matches here because I didn't think it was going to stick.
Yeah.
The third guy in that breakaway actually did get popped, and so it was just that John Hayden and I were able to stay away.
Well, Zach from 11-11 starts saying, we're not going to pull it back. He's like, you guys should be pulling that back. You know, because we're not going to we don't want Richie to get any opportunities. The less opportunities he has to come back.
Yes, of course. And in my head, I'm trying to let's just gobble up all the points so nobody can points.
Thank goodness you were up there, because that saved us. At least padding those points.
Right. And John, he wanted to win. He wanted to be the top Cat 3 rider in this series. So he was committed to that break, to that attack.
Oh, he was committed all day.
Yes, but he definitely wanted those double points. And he's like, I don't care if I get first or second. I just want points.
Well, he was animated all day, and that bike of his is sweet. I think it's steel frame. I'd love to see how much it weighs.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty vintage bike, but yeah, it's.
So it gets away. I mean, basically, we're not pulling.
Yeah, I mean,
11-11's not pulling.
It looked initially like it was getting brought back, but then I looked back and we had this giant gap, and I told him, I said, we got a huge gap. I said, let's just go for it.
Well, you guys end up getting the points there. The four that were in it got away. Eric Knight joined you. John Hayden got Ault. He was first because it's double 10 points.
Right.
Nice job getting second. You got 6. And then Bennett with 4, and then Eric the legend Knight, got 4th place and got 2. So great job marking that.
So none of the contenders scored any in that lap, which
it neutralized it.
It was a wash.
It was a wash. Again, I don't know. I wonder if we lead out Richie. Are those points that he gets? So we fast forward here. Kind of can't remember what happens in the next one.
I'm pretty sure I'm sitting back trying to get some recovery.
Yeah, after it's funny, you know, after just 5 laps, you think, okay, I can't do this anymore. So this is the bell lap, and there's a couple riders off, and there's 11-11 winding it back, and Richie's up there in good position already.
This is the bell lap right here.
Yeah. So this is the 5th time you can score points out of 8. And 11-11's just mashing. And Richie does such a good job. He's already in position.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a couple. I mean, I know there was one lap. I don't remember which one it was, but I told him, I said, just stay there because I at that point, I'm like, there's not a lot more I can do. And I said, just go. Call him Lance at that point. Just go, Lance.
Yeah, just do your thing. Get sneaky. And there they go launching. It's fun watching Richie get after it. Watch Tap here. I think he might try to go over the top. But the way this finishes out, Garcia gets first. Our boy gets second with 3 points. Then Jake. So Jake's trying to keep his lead going.
Yeah.
And then Dan got fourth. And it's always crazy at the top of this where it gets strung out, and all the guys that just sprinted are hurting.
And that's the part where you're like, okay, keeping an eye on the guys who weren't sprinting.
Mm-hmm. Well, so this
are they going to go? Are they going to try and attack? And so, if you weren't involved in that lead out or the sprint, you're kind of watching the back part of that, And sure enough,
and that's Jake. So this is a guy we got to be careful of, because if Jake gets away, these are points that we don't get. And Jake keeps elbowing me.
Yeah.
And I'm apologizing, saying, Jake, under any other circumstance, I'd love to work with you, but I got to work for Richie. And so I'm not coming around. And poor Jake is just hammering it.
Yeah, he's working hard.
Because he knows Garcia's tabulating points, Richie's tabulating points, and he's fallen back out of first. And look at this, so now we're, with a lap to go, he gets sucked back, which is just, he's so
painful.
Strong. It's just, sorry, Jake, if you're listening. I would have loved to work with you, but couldn't.
And I think at that was the point.
Oh wait, there's the fastest woman in Cincinnati, Rosie.
Yeah, she's strong as man.
But yeah,
but
so
I think
Bell
that
lap
was where Zach Luce was coming to the front, and he was saying how, or maybe it was after the sprint lap. He's like, we dropped Jake. He goes, we got to keep pushing. And Justin and I were like, kind of like, are you, you never know if he's being coy or
yeah,
if it's legit.
Well,
it's all part of the fun of the race.
Yeah, exactly. And this is where Alex helped me out a lot. There's a couple times where he just pulled me back to the group because while I didn't take a pull with Jake, I needed some air from my teammates.
Yeah.
And it's just nice. I can just sit back here and do 0 watts, tuck in behind big ol' Alex. And, this is a sprint lap. So I know they're going to fly up the road. And if not for Alex, with the efforts I had done covering some attacks, I think I might have gotten popped and saved for what happened in the next one.
Yeah. It can happen.
It can happen. So he's pulling me back. And so the sprint lap on that one, Garcia got first. Bo had a nice night. He got second. Richie got third. And Dan got Pedres got fourth. So we fast forward here. Watch this. So Jake takes off again because Jake's running out of opportunities. And I think, okay, I got to mark this. So I climb up to him and, is it Sean? Is that his name? John Hayden.
John Hayden, did he go with you guys?
Yeah, so he's with us.
That was him we just passed.
Yeah.
We just saw, yeah.
So the three of us kind of get away. Again, he wants me to work. Sorry, I can't do it. And at this point, I'm thinking, okay, we have a big gap, and I've got to help Richie. I got to stave off points for a guy that's currently in first place. So John's on my wheel now, and Jake's doing a lot of work, and we're away, so we know we're going to get points on this one. Because the gap is big enough, you're letting us go.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if 11:11 was saving this one and not racing, but there goes John. Because this is the bell lap. So now Jake, I'm thinking, I don't want to have to sprint against Jake. And at least I thought he would be working, but now he's getting a lead out.
Yeah. Oh.
And here it comes on the. And I got my finger on the shifter, and he starts slowly winding it up. And there he goes. And he did a nice job of holding the inside. And again, these are for maximum points. And I think I might have gotten him by 2 inches.
No kidding.
Yeah, it was
The width of your
the width.
rim.
It was the width of the rim. So on that one, I got full points. Jake got second with 3 points, so I got 5. He got 3. Hayden got 2, and then Chris Rednauer came up, and now he caught on. So the 4 of us were still away.
Oh.
And then we finally got caught.
Yeah.
So that only lasted. But at this point, I started moving back.
Oh yeah.
I just spent every match. I just want to finish the race with the group at this point.
Yeah, that's.
And then this is the bell lap. So this is the final lap. Double points again on offer.
Oh yeah, this was. I was on the front, and this is one where I told Richie, I'm like, you just got to go, bud.
And the fact that he can sprint,
It's
8 times out of 8.
Yeah, he gives it a go every point slap, and it's I don't know how he does it.
It's just remarkable.
It's really impressive. Because I don't think any other sprinter does that.
No.
I think they take 1 or 2 off at least just to get some recovery, and he gives it a go every single time, and that is just pretty phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see how we might change our tactics, and really, this year we've started working on lead outs, and there they go, single file. It's getting stretched out, so the speed is high. I'm losing traction at 37 miles an hour.
Yeah.
They're going faster. And then across the line was Garcia in first. Richie got second on this sprint for double points. Then Pedrowski and Dan.
Of course he can.
So the way it ended, Garcia got first place in the series. So congratulations to him in 11-11. Richie tied Jake in points after all of that.
Yep.
But because Richie beat him
Right. He
in the scored the
last
last points, Richie gets
points.
second.
He gets the tiebreaker. Yep.
So what an awesome series. Thank you to Queen City Wheels for putting on a great event. Second's the best our team has done in our. How long has our team been around?
Since 97, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's.
So in our 20-plus year history, that's the best we've finished in this race.
As far as a group of guys, that's the strongest team that we've been able to bring to Ault Park.
Yeah. So it was. It's so much fun working for this team, and I had a blast.
Oh yeah.
And
when you can contribute like that, it's funny because the kids are always like, "What did you win?" I said, "Well, our team won."
Right.
And I said, "That's what matters." I said, "Well," my daughter will go, "What place did you come in?" I'm like,
It doesn't matter.
I said,
Yeah.
because that wasn't the objective. I said, "Richie won, and so therefore we won."
Yeah. So second place, we'll take it.
Oh, for sure.
But we're going to be gearing up for next year.
Oh yeah.
So it'll be a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, and do not subscribe, do not like, and do not comment. We don't need, we want to run under the radar here.
Yeah. This is, if you want to watch and enjoy it, then it's free country. Go for it. But this is, we have a lot to learn. So
Yeah.
we're gonna get after it.
All right, brother. Well, we got a race tonight, so
Yeah, buddy.
we'll get after it right here.
Let's go and let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. See you, everybody.